And good morning, everybody. It is the 15th. No, it's not. It's the 16th. I've already messed the video up. Awesome. It's the 16th of August. I've messed it up again. I should have a sin counter on these videos, shouldn't I? For every time I cock something up. It is the 16th of October. I was 29 years old the other day. My God, I'm getting old. I've only got one more year of my 20s and then I'm an old man. Then I should probably stop making YouTube videos at that point. Here we are on the Llandeardog and Pennyog route, the Pennoy Valley Railway, and after a delay of about 2 or 3 or 4 months, I can't remember how many months it's been since this was released, I am finally able to drive the Black 5, released by Bossman Games on the Pennoy Valley Railway route. This is for a few different reasons. As most of you know, in fact, the build-up has been quite significant. Train Sim 2019 was finally released only a few days ago, funnily enough, on my 29th birthday. And with the update, it brought, what's it called? Train Sim 2019, which is like the latest incarnation of the game, and 64-bit. So finally, and what does that mean? It means that the game engine is able to utilize the processes of computers with more than 2 GB of RAM. Or is it 3 GB? James Littlewood actually gave a really good description in the AWP Facebook group about how it works. But basically the software is no longer sort of limited to a 32-bit system, which was really just preventing the game from accessing all the RAM available to load assets in the routes and just be able to deal with the workload. So a lot of people, I think, were thinking it's going to bring like graphics updates and better frame rates. It's not really for that. In fact, I've noticed only a slight difference with frame rates, to be honest. I'm finding I'm getting a little bit better frame rates, but the most important thing for me is that things such as the Llandeardog route, the Pennoy Valley Railway route, which is very asset heavy, and also the Bossman Games loco, these engines, you know, it's actually able to work now. For some reason, I don't know what happened, but several weeks ago, in fact I think even a month ago, there must have been an update or a file change or something for Train Sim, but basically it rendered Train Sim unusable for me. It seemed no matter what I was doing, I just couldn't get this route or this loco to work. It was just dumping straight away. It was as though the game wasn't even trying, you know, to load it. It would just go dump. No, sorry, can't do it, and it made the game unplayable, I have to say. So when Train Sim 2019 was released with the update, with the 64-bit update, it seems to have resolved the issue. As you can see right here, I'm quite happily filming the Bossman Games Black 5 with 41 frames per second in full graphic settings. So, you know, that is a clear indication that the update has worked. There was a little issue with the sound, apparently. I've not seen this myself, but James helped me fix that. There was like a little mod thing to change files, or audio files around. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but you know, apparently it's come from Dovetail Games, so you'll have to look into that. So without further ado, I think we'll this is a video I meant to do months ago, driving the Black 5, which you may have noticed is 44901. The real Black 5 44901 is one of the Barry locos, I believe, one of the Barry 10. So it's one of the engines that never actually left Barry. It's still there at the Barry Island Steam Railway, or Vale Glamorgan Steam Railway, whatever they call themselves these days. But several years ago, when I was planning Over the Hills, I planned to use 44901 as the character Stephanie. The original plan was to use a Black 5 for Stephanie. I have sort of toyed with the idea of using a Duke dog for Stephanie. one of the main reasons for that consideration was because sorry, I've completely messed that bit up. The Bossman Games. Oh Christ, I'm in trouble for that. The Bossman Games Black 5 just wouldn't work on my laptop or my desktop PC. But now it seems that the issue is resolved. I could very well go back to keeping Stephanie as a Black 5 and then utilising the Duke Dog as another character. But we shall see, because I do like the Duke Dog. The Duke Dog looks amazing. But I mean, look at this. I mean, the Black 5 has needed an update for a very long time. In fact, going back to Rail Simulator days, you know, back in 2006, 2007, it needed an update desperately. Because it was just crap. I'm sorry to say it. The Black 5 that came with the core game was just crap. The sounds were crap. The engine itself, the textures were crap. It was just an all-round crap locomotive. But this, the Bossman Games Advanced version is just beautiful. I'm already speeding, so this is going well. So we got a steep old climb out of Landia Dog. I am going to sort of warn you as well, we're going to try and do a full round trip of the Landia Dog line, all the way to Blind Eris and back. However, I may very well get a call for a job. I'm on standby today for a piloting job, so I've not yet got a time of when it will be, but so there is a very real chance that during the video I may have to just shoot off. So I will apologise for that in advance. Oh, I just saw a headboard. 1T57. Or is it IT57? So there we go. We are Black 5ing our way out of friggin' Landia Dog. I've got my Xbox controller plugged in so I can do some arty-farty shots. Oh yes. Oh yes, look at this. Beautiful Black 5. So yeah, I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, we're finally driving a Black 5 on the Landia Dog route, something which I should have done back in like August or September. With some pretty nice looking Mark 1 coaches, but if you look at the British Railways logos on the side of the coach, as it nears the camera, the logo actually disappears. And then if you look at it, it doesn't, which is weird. So we're powering our way up the steep slope. This is probably the steepest part of the Landia Dog line. But as you can see, the safety valves are lifting, so it's not really much of a problem for this beast. Stephanie is a... oh crap. Put the camera in the tree again. Right, okay. Come on! Arty-farty shots. Oh yes, look at this. I can see why people do love the Bossman Games Black 5. What a stunning piece of kit. And also the Jubilee has been released not long ago. I have got the Jubilee. I didn't play it for this video. I probably could have loaded it in, I suppose, but yeah, whatever. I'll do another video. So I'm going to be catching... I'm going to wait until we're out of the tunnel because I don't expect you guys can hear a word I'm saying. Listen to the beautiful echo. Alright, so we're out of the tunnel now. There's so many cab views with this loco. It's beautiful. Brakes. Oh, right, okay. Shut the reg. It's time to reduce our speed. I think I'll use the loco brake for this, because I'm finding that the loco brake is a bit more effective on a preserved line. The other thing as well, I'll start doing it in a minute, is I'll start injecting water, because we're just blowing off steam like crazy. And dump the brakes there. Perfect stop. Alright. Open the doors. And let's get this. Shut the blower. Shut the dampers. Okay, I'm not really sure what's going on here. The dampers don't appear to be working. Right, okay. Not really sure what's going on there either. I think that we're injecting water now. It's very difficult. I find it very difficult in train sim to actually be able to tell. Right. Not really sure what's going on here. So that's water. Now steam. Okay, now water. Steam. Okay, I'm assuming that that is working. Well, we'll just have to watch the water. Yes, it is working. Okay, that's good. So if we watch the boiler water gauge. Oh yeah, you can turn the gauge glasses slightly, so we should be able to see that gauge going up before long. Okay. Gross negligence at the helm, as always. We'll have to shovel some coal. Let's just take a moment while we're shoveling some coal just to get a couple of snapshots, because video needs a thumbnail and all that jazz. But that does look good, doesn't it? Oh yeah. That looks amazing. Amazing. Oh, crap. Okay. Off, off. Off, off. Right. Okay, we're good. So, loco brakes off. Get the tip from the guard. Dampers are open. The blower is supposed to be off, but I have no idea. Wonder if this thing works. I don't know. That's the blowdown valve for the gauge glass, I think. Okay, we're almost ready to go. That was a bit of a pathetic whistle. Okay, I'll do. So, we're off again. We're going to hit the 40 miles an hour section pretty soon. So I've already put a few rounds on. I did watch a really good video actually. It was made by the LMS, so that sort of detracts it. It sort of makes it not really worth anything, of course. It's funny, he says that as he's driving a Midland engine. Wind it right back. Further. There we go. You know, I watched this video and it's all about the burning of coal and how to fire efficiently. And they're sort of saying, you know, the motto to remember is little and often. Maybe if I find that video again, I'll post the link in the description below, because it's quite a useful video. So the idea is like little and often when shoveling coal, and also when you, like, I probably just did the wrong thing actually. Like we sat at the station at Pantigasso. What I should have done is not shovel at all, because as soon as you shovel coal, you're cooling the fire. So you get two sources of air. Like I've got the dampers open, you can't see them, but they're little flaps on the bottom of the firebox. They're open right now, and that's to allow the inlet of primary air. So that's primary air coming from the bottom of the firebox, and then that air is burnt through the bed of coal in the firebox, which creates heat. But then of course when you open your fire door, you're letting in secondary air. Now you'll always get a little bit of secondary air because there's a crack in the firebox door, so you'll always get a little bit. But with your fire doors open, you're allowing, excuse me, lots of cold air in. And now you guys probably can't hear a word I'm saying, so I'll just wait till we're out the tunnel. Here we go, carrying on. So yeah, secondary air is going in through the firebox door. So let's see if we can take a quick look in the firebox. So there's your bed of coal. So you got all the coals there. Primary air is coming up through the fire bars through the bottom, and right now with the fire doors open, we're letting in secondary air. So you get secondary combustion inside the firebox, and you get even more heat. So you get like the primary heat coming from the coal itself, and then the secondary heat is the gases from the coal burning again, or you know, any molecules of methane that are left in those particles are burning again. Right, we'll have to shut the reg a little bit there because we're almost at line speed. So let's wind her right back again. 25%, a little bit more reg, and I'm going to stick the injector on because we're going to be blowing off again very shortly. This is a very comfortable loco to drive, especially on this line. You know, 40 miles an hour. She's handling it perfectly. We only need a little bit of brake. But we will have to slow down again soon because we've got the 25... Oh no, it's 15 miles an hour speed limit coming up for the tunnel. Running over the volunteers again. These guys have been run over so many times. I'm amazed that they're still alive. Shut off because we need to start braking. Still use the loco brake for that. I'll push her up to about 45% on the reverser. Holding the loco brake on just to reduce the speed to 20. I say 15, it's actually 20 miles an hour. We'll put the blower on because we're going in a tunnel. I don't want any fatal blowjobs, so just make sure that the fire doors are shut. Continue our braking down to 20 miles an hour. Although the loco brake is not really having that much of an effect. If I open the ejector a bit more, will that help? No, it makes absolutely no difference. Okay, well we were doing 20 in the 20 zone. Or it was 20.9, but whatever. Run over more volunteers. These volunteers are suicidal, I think. A little bit of reg. We use the opportunity to drain some water from the taps. Right. And we're almost about to go back into the 40 miles an hour speed limit, so we've got a real sprint coming up. So I should have used the opportunity to shovel some coal before now. So we'll open up the reg. I was going back to that video. Little and often is the phrase that they kept using. Little and often. So he sort of said if you're running at like 70 miles an hour, you know, full sort of speed, shovel about 6 rounds in, just under the fire doors, and then shut the fire doors and wait 2 minutes. And you should see that the smoke will turn to a grey, blackish colour. It's all about looking at the colour of your smoke, because white smoke indicates that you're burning at full efficiency and you're using steam. That's why it's white. But when you see grey smoke or black smoke, that means the coal isn't burning as efficiently. It means you've put too much on. But it doesn't seem... I am shoveling right now. But it doesn't seem that the smoke is changing colour. So, yeah, we'll see. So I'll stop shoveling for now. Little and often, as I said. And also shut off the injector. We've still got 3,800 gallons, so I really don't think we're going to run out of water on this run. Because we have to still be signalmen. We'll have a look ahead at the route. Not sure where we're going yet. "35 miles an hour." Romping our way along the line. Notch it back to about 25%. Let's try 20, see how she does. I probably should mention as well is I took about 3 Pro Plus tablets before I started playing. So at some point I'm going to be bursting with energy. They still haven't kicked in yet, and it's been about, how long has it been? 24 minutes since we started the video, and I've still not had my energy spike. Although maybe you guys are probably watching and you're going to disagree with me on that. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I was going to talk about. Is now with the what's happening with this reg? With the 64-bit version of Train Sim, now the other day I was testing, and I could run this, the Black 5, the Bossman Games Black 5, on the Western Main Line's route. I don't know if any of you have tried to use the Western Main Line's route. It's an amazing route, but because it's so long from Plymouth to London, you know, it's enormous, and it has the sections from Exeter up to Bristol and then to Cardiff, and you know, it's oh crap, we gotta slow down. I'm gassing away and we're reaching a speed limit zone. Oh well, lower on. But then I always find that I slow down too early by here. I reach the tunnel and then I just dump the brake and we end up doing about 4 miles an hour into the station. So, alright, a little bit faster than we should be here, but I'm using just the loco brake. Ah! What have I done? What have I done? Oh my god! Oh god, we're not going to slow down in time, so I best open the ejector. Dump everything. Dump everything! Okay. Actually, do you know what? That was not a bad stop at all for a 7-coach train. Considering it was done in sheer terror and panic, that was not a bad stop. So we'll shovel some coal just while we're stationary. Again, probably shouldn't be doing that because you're cooling down the fire, although if we are waiting a couple of minutes, then we've got time to get the coal burning again before we leave. I mean, look at this, you know, Carmine and Green coaches, British Railways Black 5. Oh, this looks amazing. Stephanie is back. Perhaps I should keep this as Stephanie. What do you guys think? I know lots of you thought when I said I was going to change Stephanie to be a Duke dog, a lot of you went, "Oh my god, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life?" And then I was like, oh, wow. Right. Dampers are open. Blower is off. Just release the brake. Winder all the way forward. Logo brakes are coming off as well, and I used the opportunity just to put some water in. So before I ended up panicking and dumping all the brakes out, I was trying to explain about Western Main Lines, wasn't I? So I was able to load this loco, the Bossman Games Black 5, into Western Main Lines, and I ran it for a bit on what is the most load-heavy route in Train Sim. For some reason we're moving. Why was my regulator open? Why is my reg creeping open? Why this? You should not be doing that. My regulator's got a mind of its own. Why? Stop. Stupid. Oh crap. Okay, too much. Let's see what happens now. It's a good thing that nobody's life was on the line here while I was fucking about doing that. Anyway, I'll stick the other injector on because we're about to blow off in a moment. To save wasting that steam, we'll use it for something useful. Let's winder right back to 25%. We've put it in reverse. That's not a good idea, Reese. There we go. 15 miles an hour here, around the curve. The boiler is filling nicely, the fire is burning nicely. We will need to speed up soon. I'm just going to put a few rounds on just before we do hit that high speed section. We're going back into a 40 mile an hour speed limit. Yeah, speed limits are more guidelines than anything else. Injectors are off. So yeah, Western Main Lines. So at some point I'm planning a couple of things. I'm planning. I think I'm going to buy myself a second monitor, because I've wanted to buy a new monitor for the desktop PC for quite some time, and because at the moment I'm just using my laptop, if I had a second monitor here, then I could actually do some live streaming. I've still got my subscription to XSplit open. I haven't been able to use it because of one screen. I can't really, and also the room of the house that I was in before, it was using one of them stupid TP-Link Wi-Fi extender things. Now they're really not worth the plastic that they're made out of, because they just keep dropping out no matter what. 40 mile an hour speed limit, there we go. So now I've moved to a different room in the house. I'm using the actual proper internet router thing. So the internet strength is far more reliable than it was before. So I think I'm in a position now where I could do live streams. So in the next couple of weeks I'm going to get myself a monitor, and I think on one of my days off I'm going to run the entire route from London to Plymouth or Plymouth to London, and eventually when the Western Main Lines is extended again, then I'll run all the way to Penzance. I'm still trying to debate what loco to use, but I'm sort of thinking from London to Plymouth I'm going to use the V2 Green Arrow, the Just Trains version. I don't know if any of you remember it. There was a Green Umbrella Trains program, Classic Trains was it? And they had a cab ride with the loco crew all the way from London to Plymouth. And I think it was the furthest west a V2 has ever been, like deepest into Western Territory. And in that video, the V2 handled the hills, the South Devon banks, without a single problem. Everybody sort of went, oh, what's going to happen? It's going to struggle on the South Devon banks and Wellington bank. But it did superb. It'd never be as good as a castle, obviously, or a king, but, you know, that's by the by, really. Hashtag sullen Great Western superiority. I think I've got a Great Western superiority complex. I'm shoveling, I shouldn't be shoveling. Every day I'm shoveling. I didn't get a fatal blow back then, which is good. Okay, out of the tunnel. Now I can actually speak again. That is a long tunnel. She's handling the speed perfectly. And I think I've managed to find the sort of ideal fire mass as well. I'm about 680 pounds of fire mass right now. Because I always find I basically go up a hill, shovel like fuck. But that doesn't really work. Whereas now it seems to be about right. I'm keeping up with the demand of steam. But she's not blowing off continuously. So I think I'll shovel a couple of rounds on. I think I'll try and keep it around about the £700 mark. See, the steam generation is 600 or 6,000, and then the steam usage is 6,400. So yeah, maybe I'm slightly under, but I've still got plenty of pressure in the boiler. Oh. 45% regulator, 20% reverser, and she's been sat at 40 miles an hour for ages now. I'm going to do some arty-farty shots just while we got the opportunity. But I mean, look at, you know, I do think that the scenery is better, or it looks a bit better. It's because the game is able to load up assets far quicker and more efficiently than before. So each time you enter a different asset block, it doesn't just go BURF! You know, have 10,000 more assets. It actually is able, the computer program is able to handle it. Alright, switch the points, we're going into the correct station at Eswaithe. We'll stop shoveling. For some reason I've been shoveling coal, but my fire mass has actually gone down, not up. Which is interesting. Going ever so slightly too fast now. Lower off, dampers off. Stick the injector on. Okay, this is not good. We're over speeding. I was hoping to get through a video without speeding quite so much. But of course, this is an AWP video. That's not going to happen. So we'll give just a little bit of braking force on the loco brake. I think we need the injector open a bit more. For some reason the loco brake is not having any effect. Not really sure why that is. I think I must have missed something here. So I'm gonna have to do some dumping on the vacuum brakes. Shit. I've completely balls this up. So we're coming into Eswaithe hard and fast at 35 miles an hour with the brakes fully applied. I've completely ruined this video. Oh god! Right, reverse. Why is the reg keep creeping open? If anyone can help out with that. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Considering that was pretty much an emergency brake dump, we've near enough got a perfect position. Again, why is the regulator creeping open? I'm really not very good at driving this loco. She's got 50% reg right now. I don't know why. Drain cocks are open. Let's shovel some coal. Let's let everybody off. If anyone can shed some light, perhaps I probably should actually read the manual for this. She's not really behaving as I would expect. Now she's at 100% reg. Really got no idea why this is happening. It's weird. She's trying to chuff away. Stupid loco. You need to behave yourself. Oh, I think you need to hold the R key to shovel, actually. Yeah, see, regulator's shut and she's just doing her own thing. I'm scared. I don't know what's going on. My loco is a demon. I've got a demon Black 5. Why are you doing this to me? Oh god. regulator is supposed to be shut. See now, I let go of the D button and the reg creeps open. Probably done something weird here. My demon Black 5 is off, just doing her own thing. Luckily, it sort of coincides with what we want it to do, but at the same time it doesn't. I've never driven a train sim that just decides to do its own thing. I probably should have read the manual before trying to make a video about this. That's performance mode. This is weird. Well, alright, whatever. Demon Black 5. I think I'm gonna have to call this video the Demon Black 5. Stephanie the Demon Black 5. Well, I guess until I figure out what's going on with this regulator, I won't be able to use the Black 5 on the Western Main Line's route if it's just going to open its own regulator for some reason. Yeah, unfortunately you're gonna keep getting phone notifications throughout this video because I can't put my phone on silent just in case I get the call to go to work. So I do apologise to you in advance for that one. Oh, the curses of being a marine pilot. I also just figured something out as well, is that you have to hold the R key for it to actually shovel coal. If you just press R once, nothing happens. So I do need to read the manual. I'm going to see if I can bring it up on my phone, just while we're playing. Oh, look at that. First thing. think I've just found the manual. Downloading, yes. Bossman Games LMS Stania Class 5. Let's have a look. Page 17, regulator. Okay, that's interesting. When using the regulator on this loco, there are a couple of things to note. When you're in second valve, the second half of the regulator's travel, make sure to slam the regulator open and then slam it shut. If this isn't done, the regulator will not shut properly. Right, okay. Well, that's interesting to know. That's a really good little feature, that. The second valve is still open. Right, okay, that's why it keeps opening. I feel stupid now. But to be honest, I wasn't expecting that level of simulation. I'll probably sail this again once we're at the tunnel. Right, so we're passing Mr. Davies' house. So, I just read in the manual that it's actually standard practice to open the reg fully and then slam it shut. And then it should hopefully shut the second valve off. So let's give it a try. All the way open and bang! Ah! Ah! We figured it out! We figured it out, ladies and gents. So if that should be open. Now if I just shut it, yeah, all the steam goes out. So it's because it was in second valve. So that's a level of detail which I wasn't expecting on this, you know. We get advanced logos, but this is like the next step up in advanced, I think. I should have been able to work that out, to be fair. But hey, it's better late than never, and if you hadn't watched this video, if you didn't know it before, now you know it. The only stupid questions are the ones that don't get asked, as they say. Although I challenge them to deal with some of my questions sometimes. Right, let's do some arty-farty stuff while going across the bridge. That looks amazing. Do you know what, I could really see me driving this on the Western Main Lines route. London, Paddington to Plymouth. I don't know, I imagine it would be alright, but I'd have to probably put a water tanker on somewhere. I mean, you know, now that the 64-bit has been released, I should be able to run all the way without as many dump files. It's that the game just feels more stable. Like, I've been playing now for what, like 35 minutes or so. I haven't had a dump file. Actually, since the update, I haven't had one single dump file. There is nothing has gone wrong yet, touch wood, so far. So, we're just reaching our maximum intended speed and we'll shortly be descending. So, all the way open and all the way shut. Just give her a little bit of reg just to keep going. I think we are going to need a bit more coal on, so if I hold the R key, just put a few rounds in. Shut the firebox door. Put a bit of water in. Oh, we missed the We missed the castle. Never mind. We do actually seem to be running a bit lower on steam. So perhaps we do need a little bit more coal. They will just put up to about £720 in fire. Okay, so the steam generation rate is rising quite quickly too. We're coming up on a station soon, so I do have an injector on. Let's put the blower on. There we go. Just put the blower on just to draw the fire a little bit, just to make a bit more pressure while we're coasting. The effect of that blower, I don't know if you guys are watching the fire mass or the steam generation, but with the blower on, the steam generation just went through the roof. So it's really having a good effect. The blower is having a huge effect on the fire right now. We're slowly reducing back down to 25 miles an hour. I better just check the points. Yeah. So the other thing to sort of note is that I stuck the, you know, we've put coal on the fire, it's burning now, steam is going up quite quickly, so what I'll do is I'll just shut the blower a bit. We are injecting, so I'll stop injecting. And I'll just keep bringing the speed down slowly. Hopefully, by the time that we're ready to depart from Pennyog, you know, we'll have a good head of steam, because there's quite a climb coming up out of Pennyog. So let's open the firebox door. We'll shovel a bit more coal on. And we'll gently apply the brake. Probably just a touch too early. Although we are within the signal limits. Yeah, not too bad. It's not my preferred place, but, you know, whatever. It's not too bad. Could have come another 10 feet forward or so, I suppose. Alright, we got this figured out, I think. We'll just whack a few more rounds in. We'll stick the blower on. We will fill Pennyog with thick black smoke because that's what we love. I'll do it. Blower's on, dampers are open. Open the ejector the rest of the way. Steam pressure is building nicely, and I can always put the injector on to use any extra steam. It's almost time to leave anyway, so we'll just double check the road, which is now set. So with steam going up, we'll let off the brake. Get the tip from the guard. It's a shame that there's no AI traffic on this route, because it would be nice to have to wait for the token and pass other trains. Hopefully now that 64-bit is out, Matt did actually offer to make some scenarios for me. So we'll see. Okay, so we'll shut the blower, because hopefully this will be enough to draw the fire up. I can hear that the safeties are going to be lifting soon. Alrighty. Shut the ejector a bit to save a bit of steam there. And we'll start bringing it back on the reverser even. Second valve, because we're pushing up to 40 mile an hour now. Push it back, bring it back to about 45% on the reverser. Full reg. Now that should be enough to draw the fire. As you see, the boiler pressure is going through the roof now. We've put a massive load of coal on the fire, and luckily it's starting to draw, so I think that we'll be blowing off as we're heading up this hill. We are using a lot of steam now, but still... Oh, crap, I dropped the thing. Yeah, 17 miles an hour. This is a steep climb, 1 in 70 with 7 coaches on, so we're not doing too bad. I could probably push her forward a little bit, get a bit more speed. Let's put it back up to 60% reverser. Speed's coming up a little bit. Might even put it a little bit further forward. Yes, that's perfect. Steam management is what it's all about, chaps. Oh, we're gonna get another awesome looking scene, just like in the Duchess of Negligence video. I think I've just found my end clip. I'm not feeling as hyper as I was the other day when I took all those Pro Plus. Perhaps if I do a Western Mainlines video where it's like a 4 or 5 hour round trip, then I'll take about 20 Pro Plus before. How are we doing? 22 miles per hour. And this, yeah, we are slowly losing on the steam generation front, so I'll just whack a couple of rounds in there. Christ, we already burned through 50 pounds of coal on that run. Alright, so little and often I'll just put about 30 pounds of coal in. It's probably 6 shovelfuls, something like that. There we go. And we'll shut the reg a bit. What's the gradient? So we've come off the gradient now, so we're picking up speed. That run just out of Pennyhog past the colliery is really steep. I think it even goes to like 1 in 50 at one point. This is probably the part of the line where engines are going to work the hardest. And that kind of makes sense, because in episode 6 there was the line side fire which happened just up ahead, which, you know, it would make sense that it happened there, because this is where engines are working ridiculously hard. There you are, there's the remains of the fire, which is still smouldering even after all these months. Okay, I don't know what's happening over there. Missing textures are flying around. Well, that's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in Train Sim. Missing textures are flying in the air. So I think I may have to do some work there. This is the remains of the burnt embankment. Right. Okay, we're off and running. Better inject some water. I think we're more or less level now. Have a look at the gauge. How are we looking? Oh, only a third of water. All right, we are injecting, so it's we're going the right way. Why this? Oh, it's nearly 1 o'clock and I still don't have a job for the day. I was kind of hoping to have had a job by now, or at least know what I'm doing, so I can know in advance whether I'm going to get to finish this video for you guys or not. So leave a comment in the description below, in the comment section below, if you like the Bossman Games Black 5. I'll post a link to it in the description as well. It's available on Steam. However, as of the Jubilee, Bossman Games are not releasing DLC via Steam. And the reason for this is just that the cuts that are taken from the developer by both Steam itself and by Train Simulator or by Dovetail Games, it just makes it not worth doing. Which is a real shame because, you know, Train Simulator is just so reliant on third-party developers nowadays that, because, you know, Dovetail Games didn't really invest enough in developing DLC, maybe they don't consider it worth it either. But then at the same time they went and developed Train Sim World, which is great, but yeah, it's a project which is only a quarter finished in my opinion. As a game, it still needs to, you know, find itself. It's not really taken off as well as they hoped, I imagine. But it will, you know, that's not to be completely negative. There will be a time in the future when everybody says, oh, well, let's play Train Sim World and not let's play Train Simulator. Although I think Train Simulator 2019 and the future incarnations will be, like, fully community-based, a bit like what MSTS is now. And I'd be okay with that. You know, I've spent an absolute fortune on DLC for this game, so I'd be okay. What am I doing? Right. Oh wow, we're almost, we've almost made it to Eswaithe Junction. So we'll keep the speed up. Right, I've just better shut reg. Full reg, slam shut, just in case we're in second valve. Ejector open. And we'll do a bit of dumping on vacuum brakes because crap. Open. We're going into another tunnel. I better. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, now we're approaching Eswaithe Junction. I can explain what just happened. So, while we were in that massively long tunnel and nobody could hear a word anyone was saying, I've just had the call. Going to be going on a job 20:45, so I need to be at the office an hour from that. So I got plenty of time to do the second part of this video, which is awesome. We're not in a rush. We could do a full run back to Llandiadog. And I think for the first time since we left Llandiadog, I'm actually going to stop in the platform relatively correctly. Nicely on the brakes there. Dump. Let's just check the back end. Ah. Oh well, you know. There's only so much you could do as a train driver. But that shot, mine. I mean, that shot, guys. The Bossman Games Black 5 in Eswaithe Junction with the castle behind it, Folly Tower. Beautiful. Especially, you know, the fitting coaches as well. I was thinking about using the Digital Tractions teaks on this. But I'm really glad I went with the Mark 1s now. Because there's some locos where you see it with Mark 1s and you're like, ugh, it just looks a bit crap. But this time, it just works. So you see, we've blower is shut. She's not trying to creep off ahead now, which is good. 0.65 water level, which if you look at the gauge, it's, you know, bobbing around a little bit. You know, I've got plenty of space there to put water in the boiler. So what you'll find is if you're sat at a station blowing off, try and sort of aim not to have the boiler completely full, because you can always add water in. So instead of blowing off steam, you can just, you know, you could just stick water in and use that steam for something positive. So dampers are open, the blower is off, ejector is open, and we'll start taking them brakes off. For a few rounds on, because there's a little bit of an uphill section towards Blaenbarys. But to be honest, after that, I don't anticipate putting any more coal on for quite a while. So we'll shut them fire doors. The fireman can have a little bit of a break. He can have a sandwich and cup of tea. And when we get to Blaenbarys, he's got a few jobs to do. So, tip from the guard, and I think we'll make our move. Probably should have checked the signals, although the road is set by the look of it. Is it? Not really. Doopy-doopy-doo, doopy-doopy-doo, doopy-doopy-doo-doo, doopy-doopy-doo. There we go. The road is set all the way into Blaenbarys. I'm noticing there's a lot more videos of these that I'm doing where I am actually making it to Blaenbarys without crashing into filming rolling stock or something like that. canal just below us, or inland waterway, whatever you want to call it. Power! We need to stay less than 20 miles an hour here because we've got a token exchange to do up ahead. There he is, there's the guy. Left over from episode 6 filming. He's got the token there in his hand, so we'll give him the token for this section, which is the section to Pennyog. Bachink! That was me grabbing the token, by the way. And then we'll give the other token here, I guess. Bachink! I guess that's what that thing is. Well, I did put it there, so you would have thought I would know what that is. Power! So why am I putting the power on? Because we need to accelerate up this steep hill on the other side. So we're just passing under the South Wales main line, which runs from Cardiff Newport through Blaenbarras and then towards Severn Tunnel Junction. And we're about to hit the steep gradient, which is pretty steep. I'll tell you in just a moment. But she's not having any problem with losing speed. 1 in 132, it's not that steep, I suppose. Yeah, she didn't have any trouble getting up that slope at all, did she? Let's just shut that second valve and we'll drift our way, meandering our way into Blaenbarras. So I'll shut the dampers, shut the blower, stick the injector on, because the steam pressure is almost at the point where the blower, with the Doobie Watson is going to blow off the safety valve. Oh, I still haven't fixed that bad bit of track. There's just a little bit of bad track there on the on that approach line. You saw us jigging about like, you know, like a maniac. Okay, I gotta slow down to 15 and I've overshot it again, so I'm dumping the brakes out. Slowed down too much there. You can't dawdle on the main line. Well, I messed this up again. Right, okay, we're good. We're good, we're good. It's all good, it's all gravy. Shut it, Reg. There's another bit of bad track there. Which I think that bit is my fault, because I did a couple of modifications to the track work here at Blaenbarras. And I may have messed it up. So, you know, I'm not really surprised about that bit. Better just check that the points are in the set correctly. Yes, they are. Find the right place to stop her as well. I ought to put some markers out on the track side so that I could just, like, you know, lean out of the window and just know where to stop the loco. Roll a bit further forward and stop it there. And there you have it, ladies and gents. We've made it from Llandiadog to Blind Barris, all the way without crashing or without having a fatal blowjob or a fatal blowback or any other horrible nasty thing, boiler explosion, wheel failure, whatever you want to call it. We've made it. Now the hard part, and that's to run round without destroying the Black 5. So I'm going to pause the video for a moment because I need to take a pee. So we'll just sit here for a few moments. Everybody can alight the train, which they can't do apparently. So yeah, I'll see you in a moment. Wabushi, and welcome to part 2 of this glorious video. So in the time, probably about 2 seconds that it took you to watch the 2 clips together. Oh, I probably should have put the handbrakes on first. Whoops. Bang. Yeah. I had a shit. I know that you all totally wanted to know that, but I just thought I'd share that with you all. So, without further ado, we're going to run round. Brakes are off. I got to be very careful with this because if you give too much power, you could just basically fly forward and smash into the buffers like I seem to do in most of my videos. But I don't want to do that today. I want to actually get back to Llandiadog. I'm sort of hoping as well, by having the reverser almost in the middle position, that I won't just fly forward too much. Loco brakes on. Oh, did I stop in the right place? I think I need to come forward a little bit more. Ah! Legend! The Legend of Risicus. Let's see what happens now. Right. Doobie-doo-doo. That's that. We need that one set, and we need that one set. Off we go. Oh, the boiler pressure is going down. Boiler is almost full of water now, so I could probably knock the turn the injectors off soon. Because I will need, if you fill the boiler too much, then there's basically no space for the inside the boiler for the water to turn to steam, which is also not very good. So we'll do that. Dunk, dunk, and dunk, dunk. Almost there, a little bit further more. Keep going, drive. I've got the wrong shed code on, I think. Now this is the fun bit. Because did I go? I didn't go back far enough. Nope. We gotta go back further. Now we go. Oh yeah, this is where that weird bit of track is. You see the tenders doing a little dance right now. Are we blowing off? I think any moment we'll be blowing off. Probably ought to slow down as well. No, we're in second valve. Stop. Fully open and slam shut. There we go. The loco brake is very effective. Ah! Oh! I was about an inch off. Okay, buffer up. Bajunk. Bufferception is happening. Dunk. There we go. So loco brake off, we'll suck off the vacuum. And we'll stick her in reverse. Be-doo, 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 doo, be-doo, be-doo, be-doo. Full reverse. Full astern. Did I have the lamp in the right place? No, I don't. So we need to do control 1. Which is wrong. Control shift 1. Smoke box first direction. I'm not really sure how to do it. Okay. We want the lamp on the tender. So control 5. That's better. So we got the lamp in the right place now on the tender. I think. But we want to get rid of that one. There we go. I think that's the right lamp. I think it's the correct lamp code for tender first running. It doesn't matter. You guys will leave comments shooting me down anyway. Red tail lamp is correct, I know that. So nobody can shoot me down for that one. We're all set. So we'll put a few rounds on. We'll open up them dampers. Driver and fireman have had their chance to have a shit. That'll do him. Get the tip from the guard. And ladies and gents, it's time to go back to Llandeardog for the 2:30, which is not going to leave at 2:30 because it's 1:30 almost. The 1:30 service back to Llandeardog. How long have we actually been running? An hour and 26 minutes. Jesus, I did have a big shit in that time. But the game was paused. It shouldn't have taken that into account. blowing off. And the 1:30 service back to Llandeardog Harbour leaves Blaenbarris. Shit, no, I can't. Ah, who cares about signals? Who needs signals? It's a free roam scenario. I do sort of think that we would probably get severe buffer locking on this junction here. These Mark 1s, especially being, you know, knuckle coupled the way they are, they would have probably locked buffers going around that junction. Oh, we blowing? Yep, we're blowing off. Injector on, please, Mr. Fireman. Wind it back. Boop. So it's 15 miles an hour until we get back onto the preserved section, which we're doing now. We'll get the token from the guard, from the signalman, who's standing on the wrong side of the track because he's an idiot. We'll just pretend he gave us the token. 9, let's make sure we're going into the right road as well. Poop, poop. Oh, no, 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 no. I balls this up. I was actually supposed to go on the other line. I was supposed to set that point there. So we're actually going the wrong way. But now we're on the preserved line. We're clear of the main line. Let's go. We'll just have to remember to take it slow when we're... I know, just for this video, we'll say that there's temporary engineering work going on the up main. Shut the dampers. There is a bit of a climb as well once we're through the tunnel, but it's 20-mile-an-hour speed limit because we need to hand over the token to the main line and then get the Pennoeth Valley Railway token from to enter Pennoeth Junction. Alrighty, let's just get ready to, as you see, I did already think about this. There's the other token thing, holder. So, junk token exchange for Mr. Bossman there. Junk. Thank you, we've now got the token. The actual token that we should have for this section. Even though we are on the wrong bit, so I'm going to reduce speed now, 15 miles an hour for the crossover. Alright, entering the correct platform now at Penrith Junction. Oh, no. Across. Go across. Have technically just run a red signal. But we've got to be clear of the... we're not. So we're fouling the point with our 7-coach train. We shouldn't actually be doing that. We could have gone a little bit further. I should put that signal at the other side of this level crossing, really. Although that's probably not correct either. But doesn't that look good? I mean... Wow. That's giving me so many feels right now. We'll shovel a few more rounds in. Because we'll shortly be heading out 40 miles an hour section as well, so it's high speed running, and I think there's quite a bit of uphill as well as we're going backwards, so we'll build up the fire a little bit. I think £850 will do for the biomass, won't it? Okay, so let's do this. Tip from the guard. Oh, no. Why did I do that? I pressed the wrong key. I opened the doors again. Yeah, I probably should have pressed the right key there. I think a few of you have probably also, you've also mentioned that I'm using the incorrect signals. These are the LED modern day signals, and the route is supposed to be set in the 60s. Yes, I know. James has actually offered to replace these signals with sort of 60s alternatives. On the main line, it was electric lighting even in the 60s, but it was like the old-fashioned bulbs, But obviously they didn't have LEDs back in the 60s, so... although they might have. I mean, it was quite impressive, the technology that they did have. Let's make sure the road is set, so we're... doopy-doopy-doo, all the way to Pennyog. Which is here. When we get... Oh, we're blowing off! Injector on, please. I'm not wasting that steam. So blower is off, dampers open, injector is on because we're just about to blow off again. We are blowing off a little bit, so we're trying to use that steam for something useful rather than just venting it out to atmosphere. Unfortunately, the boiler is more or less full, so we are going to lose that steam. So let's turn it into speed, because now we're in the 40-mile-an-hour section. And I'm going to go radio silent for a little bit, because we're in the tunnel, you won't hear a word I'm saying, so I'll see you on the other side. Alright, we're out of the tunnel. So as you see, the steam generation rate just went through the roof, just because I just piled the coal on before we left. I think the dampers are open. Injectors are on, we're trying to use up some of this steam. So basically I've done the wrong thing there, I've just put too much coal on. So I think about 800 pounds is really the sort of maximum you want to be firing with, really. Unless you're running at ridiculously high speed, like I'm sort of maxing at about 40 miles an hour. So you don't really need to have that much steam available. See, now I'm just wasting it. Because the boiler is more or less full. I'm trying to use steam, but there's only so much that we can use while running as well. It's about coal efficiency, ladies and gents, and that only comes with driving trains. With experience. And I think, because this is the first time I've really driven this engine properly, I've sort of... the problem I seem to have with train sim is that I only drive trains when I'm filming, because I've not had enough time. I haven't really had time just to do a run for myself, you know, for like route learning or just enjoyment, because every time I load up train sim I'm filming, so I kind of lose the skill that you know that you have. You don't lose it, but you get rusty, you know. When you drive trains on here every day, you get the experience built up and you know how much to fire, and you can do it far better. Like right now, we're just blowing off like crazy. I think I've almost got my reg set in just about where I want it to maintain a good 40 miles an hour on this run. I was going slightly too fast earlier, but now we've nailed it on the head. Blowing off again, so I think I'm going to inject a little bit more. So I could shut the dampers as well, just to reduce the steam generation rate a little bit. Yeah, we're doing alright now. Steady 40.8 mile an hour. We'll do a little bit of line siding just for a moment. I think the 40 miles an hour tender first is probably the maximum we want to be doing, really, isn't it? You don't want to be doing any more than about 40 backwards. Check the road at Pennyog because we're almost there. Yeah. Yeah, we're all set, I think. It's a nice view. There's not many heritage railways where you can actually run this sort of speed, you know, like 40 miles an hour for sustained periods between sections. I think we're almost at the speed reduction point. Because we're not far from Doobie, what's it? Oh. What have I done? I pressed keys again, I don't know what I did. Right, okay, okay. Just press all the buttons until something happens. There's Pennyard Colliery, so we need to start slowing down now. Alright, that's not good. The loco brake is not doing anything. Okay, I've completely overshot the slowdown point, so I've just had to dump the brakes out because for some reason my loco brake was not working. I don't know whether there's a problem with it working in reverse or what, but my loco brake just did not respond. However, as it happens, it seems to be going okay now. I want to make sure that I'm not parked actually inside the tunnel because otherwise I'll kill the crew. But we want to sort of park just the back of the tender inside the entrance to the tunnel. Oh, that's pretty much exactly what I wanted. So that's good. Could have gone a tiny bit further, I suppose. But generally that's what I wanted to achieve. A bit like the Severn Valley Railway, this is, you know, you kind of, the end of the train will always sort of sit outside of the platform. I do love the way that this station is modelled. Is it the Lakeside and Haverwaite Railway? Sort of modelled on one of those stations there. I think we'll do a bit of filming from here just to come back out. Brakes are slowly coming off. We got a tip from the guard. Stick the injector on because I can see that we're blowing off. Alright, so we're entering the 40 zone. Full reg. The fireman can have a nice rest here because he's, just as we were leaving, I was shoveling a few rounds, so I've put the fire mass up to about 800 pounds. And we're blowing off almost anyway. So it's quite a steep hill now in the 40 miles an hour section all the way to Eswaithe. Alrighty. Regulator is through the roof. Hey, look, sheep. Let's try and do some speed in action filming. If you guys want to get an Xbox controller to do some filming, you can really get some quite cool shots. Like, I'm just following with the Xbox controller using the trigger option. You can really get some quite clever bits of film. The thing is, you kind of got to mess about with the mountains and scenery nearby. There we go. What's the speed now? 40 miles an hour, so we can shut the reg. We'll shut the reg just for a second, just to let the speed drop a little touch. And then we'll open it again just to maintain pressure. Which is sort of just got to fine-tune the valve setting just to get the right pressure in the steam chest to maintain the speed. That's a little bit too much there. Can't wait to drive this beast on the main line. I'm always doing runs on the Llandeardog line, but I think it's time to really, you know, stretch our legs on Western Main Line. It's London, Paddington, all the way down to Penzance. It'll take all day. That's actually a really good challenge. Like, I'd have to set up somewhere for water and coal on the way. I imagine I'd need at least 2 water stops. So I'll get tankers on the route. Now with 64-bit, it's possible. Might do it, try and do it as a live stream as well, so that people can join and watch throughout the day. So we're almost at Nanty Glen Reservoir. It's the hydroelectric power station built not far from Mr. Davies' house to supply electricity. However, unfortunately, it didn't supply enough electricity, as in the 50s and 60s, people's use of personal, electrical devices increased as everybody started buying themselves vacuum cleaners and refrigerators. But the hydroelectric power station wasn't really enough to sustain that amount of electrical current in use, the demand. So in later years, it's been converted to a supplementary power source, so they can, during the night, they can pump the water in from the river, the Avon Lwyd River. They can pump the water in when the electricity is cheaper, and then when there is a sudden surge, a spike, a bit like the electric mounting in Lambeth, the real place. They can open up the valves and start generating electricity very quickly to cope with the sudden surge of power that is required. We're going past Mr. Davies' house now, so we'll give a nice long blast on the whistle. As required in the Pennock Valley Railway operating instructions. Scare all of his horses. I'm sure his wife will be very happy. So you see all the way up that embankment there, right from Pennyog all the way up to there, to Nanty Glen, to the house, is very steep uphill. And so we shoveled a little bit just as we were leaving Pennyog Colliery. Sorry, Pennyog. But we haven't shoveled since then, so the fire mass has dropped right down. Which is good for us because it's pretty much downhill now. If I just... There you go. All the way through Nanty Glen is downhill. So we could just have the regulator open just a touch. Just a touch. Just to maintain speed. Passing through Nanty Glen. Push up the speed. I mean, we've dropped a little bit there. I don't know what that guy's doing. Yep, we'll shovel a couple of rounds on just to make sure the fire doesn't get too small. Although, to be honest, we're not really struggling for boiler pressure. We've got a steady 220. We're not blowing off that much. You know, we are blowing off a little bit. It's not excessive. Shit. Literally, go and film one scene and then that's it, boom, you're speeding. So we'll start reducing now because we're there's the distance signal now for Eswaithe and the speed reduction sign. So we'll just use the loco brake just to give some resistance. Slow down to 25 miles an hour. Nice and steady. However, I've got this gut feeling that it's not going to be enough because that's up ahead. We're almost there, you know, so we're not really giving that much braking force, to be honest. And it is downhill. But then the speed is coming off slowly. Nice and gently. Not really sure why earlier when we were trying to use the loco brakes that I had nothing. So there's obviously something that I need to check there. Maybe it was a valve I need to have open, but I shouldn't need to have the ejector open because that's only for the vacuum. That's to generate a vacuum. So I'm not really sure why that happened. There's the home signal and we're down to 25 miles per hour. I actually feel for the most part we've actually followed, you know, the rules quite well. It doesn't happen very often. So we need to stop in the right place now. This station here, Eswaithe, which is, it just kind of reminds me of Arley on the Severn Valley Railway, with the bridge, just the sort of general layout. Dump. Beautiful stop. Let's just see how we are for position. Oh yeah. Now Eswaithe is a longer than average station on this line. You know, there's a few, you know, Llandeardog, Pennoeth Junction, Eswaithe and Blaenberris are sort of full-length platforms, but all the rest of them are short. They're not really very long. Or not, they're not meant for anything longer than like 2 or 3 coaches. Right, okay, so let's get ready to go. We'll wind her right back. We'll bring this thing up and we'll open them and we'll twiddle the thing and we'll open the dampers. Shovel some coal in. £750. We're holding pressure relatively good. I am injecting right now, so sort of keeping the pressure down a little bit. Just until we're getting ready to leave. So we'll put the ejector on, we'll release the brake. £800. I mean, it's not that much climbing left to do now, to be honest. So we'll, I think we'll lay off on the shoveling. Try and run the fire down a little bit, ready for when we're back at Llandeardog. I think we'll probably end the video by putting the loco on shed. We don't need to turn around, which is good. So, yeah. Just check the signals again. Nope, we're good. I think we're all set to run pretty much back to Llandeardog now, because this is where you've really got to mess about with your first set of points. Okay, tip from the guard. Just maintain 15 miles an hour until we're clear of that sign, or set the set of signals rather. So we can push up to about 40% cut off ish, and then we'll throw the regulator through the roof, and we'll push up to line speed, straight into a tunnel. Burp. Oh, I'm pretty sure there is quite a steep climb here, actually. It's 1 in 94. Just as we're heading out of Eswaithe, it's a 1 in 94 gradient by the look of it. 1 in 99. Just until we're around the first corner, and then it's then it should be relatively flat. But it proves, you know, that the Eswaithe Valley Railway is a very difficult line to learn. Somebody did actually give me a gradient map of it once. Remember, guys, you know, I keep saying this in pretty much every video I make. The Eswaithe Valley Railway, and it is the Eswaithe branch, which is available on UK Train Sim. I've made some minor modifications to it. You don't need to ask me where to download it, or can you download it from me, because I will not be releasing my version of it, because it is not my route to release. It was created by the same gentleman who created the Swanage Railway, which is now available on UK Train Sim and Steam Sound Supreme's website. So I don't take any credit for making the route. I just use the route very regularly, and it's a testament to how good the gentleman's route making skills really are. Robert McGregor, his name is, I believe. He's just finished making the Swanage Railway, so I highly recommend that you go and find that. Guys, still a gradient here, 1 in 106. But we're still making enough steam. I better put the injector on. We're running backwards, but we are using a fair bit of steam right now. We've got the regulator through the roof. But the safety valve is blowing, so we're obviously making enough steam. I don't think we'll stop at Blaencoed on the way. Is it Blaencoed? Yeah, I think it is Blaencoed. No, Pontymoyle. It's Pontymoyle. We'll just bypass Pontymoyle this time, because Normally, on normal running days, it's a request stop. But there is a village there, so it shouldn't really be a request stop. But you can see now in scenes, this sort of scene is pretty much the reason why I chose this route to be my railway, to sort of act as the Pennine Valley Railway. They are 36 miles an hour, still making plenty of steam. I could shut her off now. Let's just make sure that second valve is shut off enough. There we go. It's nice when you have a steam locomotive where when you press the I and O and the K and L keys to open up the steam valves and the water inlet valves, that they actually work. Because there are so many times in Train Sim where you get DLC and you get locos and you want to put water in the boiler, and you know the only way to make it work is to use the Fisher-Price toolbar, which is annoying, especially when you're buying advanced stuff. Like sometimes, you know, I press F4 and I use the toolbar just because it's easy. You could just click the button and it's the injectors are either on or they're either off. There's sort of like, there's no in between. Because something which does happen on some locos is that you open the water valve and then it won't close. For some reason the keyboard command doesn't work to close it. Right, out of the tunnel now, you can probably hear me again. So we're back into the Pennine Valley now. And I think we'll have to start reducing speed before long. We're coming up on the section that I like to call the Tipfield Thunderbolt section. The reason I call it that is because there's certain bits which they run back, the railway runs alongside the road, and if you was able to put a bus on it that was moving, it would kind of look like the scenes where you know, the bus and the train are racing each other in the Tipfield Thunderbolt film. So now we'll use the loco brake only, apply some braking force, reduce down to 25 miles an hour. And there's the distance signal for Blind Croyd. No, Ponymoil, I keep getting that wrong, it's Ponymoil. Luckily as well, there's no points to change. And there's the point where the speed limit is, so I'm actually a little bit slow on my braking. But hey, you know, 27 miles an hour is not too bad. It's only 2 or 3 miles an hour over. And I am still braking. There we go, 25. It's not too bad. Alright, technically I'm speeding, but it's my railway, I'm the managing director. What are you going to do about it? Well, I think I just got dismissed for gross negligence there, but you know, no one's ever cared about that before. I've just learned from the guard that we are going to stop at Pontymoyle. There is a request. So, yeah, we will be stopping. We'll reduce the speed for the level crossing that goes right past the station. We'll sound one prolonged blast on the whistle just to let the signal keeper or the gatekeeper know that we're approaching. And then there's a whistle board just here as well. So I better transfer to the other side of the cab. Blurb. And there's the station. I think Mr. Bruce's bus has finally been moved, yeah. It's not there anymore. I don't know whether any of you find this, but I find like there's certain assets on this route which I try to delete just to make it a bit more periodical. Like this scene here, where the guy's shifting the crates. It's a really nice little scene, but it's not really fitting for a preserved line. So I've tried to delete it, but every time I delete it, it just comes back. So I don't know if anyone knows why that is, or if the route is protected or something. If anyone's got any clues, just drop a comment in the section below. Let me know why that is, because I want to delete some of these things. But I want to replace it with something like, it's a bit more sort of heritage related rather than, you know, I mean there's like a good shed here. But it's more or less just going to have like old coaches. Eventually, what was Mr. Anthony's coaches, who he's got a new name now, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. The character, his Great Western Clerestory coaches, they're eventually going to live here. Because later on in the series, probably like Series 2 or Series 3, those coaches will basically be condemned for passenger service and they'll be used as camping coaches. So the plan will be to put them on this siding and probably lift the point out. I don't know yet, we'll see, but probably like put a catch point in or something. Make it that they just live there forevermore. Alright, that's the request stop done. Back across the cab to the driver's side. Full astern. Brakes off. We're really getting the hang of this now. She's a really nice loco to drive. If you haven't gone and bought it, I recommend a sneeze first, yeah. I recommend that everybody goes and sneezes. Sneezing is underrated in this day and age. Everybody goes, oh, I'd love to have a good sneeze. I think you could start to tell that those caffeine tablets are having an effect. Am I pumping? No, I'm not. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm pumping. There we go. We're pumping. Nothing but double pumping. So off we go.
We just give her a little bit of a few rounds on the fire, just to supplement as we head back towards Landero. She's not going to need that much, to be honest. Yeah, you've probably noticed that when you go in this tunnel, you basically just crash through a mountain as well. I need to get a new portal thing on that. Oh, that's what I was going to ask you guys, is up here on the roof of the cab is this little flappy thing. Now, I've never understood what those flappy things are actually for. Like, is it so you can climb out through the cab roof, or what? What's the reason for it? So, leave a comment if you know what they are, because I don't know why they even exist. I mean, my sort of assumption was if you wanted to climb out through the cab roof so you could have a look at head or something, or a coal. But then you could just climb up on the tender, I suppose, it'd be safer. God, we've been going for 2 hours, 20 minutes. Next stop, Pantigasog. We could probably be increasing speed a little bit quicker if I notched it back a bit more. Although I'm quite happy with the speed as it is, to be honest. So you just saw then, I don't know if you guys caught it, but that was another block of assets loaded into the game. So like the game will only render assets within a certain distance of the player, and as you saw it then, like a bunch of trees just went perf and appeared. Now on a route like this where you've got so many high quality assets, it can, well, up until the most recent version, it would take quite a considerable amount of memory to load those assets, and if you had lots of assets it would actually slow the game down. But now with 64-bit it is not limited anymore, so I've got like 32 gigabytes of RAM here. I've got a feeling we're coming up on the cliff top soon. Oh, we're not quite there yet, although we almost are. Yep, there's a cliff top, we gotta slow down. I haven't seen any, see, I got no loco brake again. I've got this feeling that we've slowed down. No, we haven't. We slowed down just about the right sort of place. 20 miles an hour is what we need.
20 miles an hour at the cliff top. Perfect. We'll do some injecting while we're running on the cliff top. Yeah, no blowing off. There's no visible smoke from the exhaust. The fire is actually burning exactly as it should. This is probably the most efficient it's been for the whole video. Although you could probably do with a little bit more fire mass looking at the boiler pressure. But it's pretty much all downhill now to Llandeardog, so we don't need to be generating that much steam. We can sort of use the opportunity to keep it quiet. Now we got another brief 40 mile an hour section, so I'll put her up to 45% cut off. Once we're across the bridge we can accelerate. Am I injecting? Yes I am. We'll just give her a couple of rounds just to keep it up. So obviously if you were on the main line you'd be using a hell of a lot more steam than I've been using. Kill the volunteers. You and your precious, you know, shut up. Can't even think of the words. Oh, always looking through the trees. So we'll put the reg through the roof for a few minutes. I guess that'll drain some of the steam as well. Well, it looks like we are going to need a bit more boiler pressure because it's 150 pounds per square inch. So we'll put some coal on. We'll put the blower on just to give her a little bit of a kick. That'll probably do it. Blower on. Let's draw that fire. We got the reg through the roof as well, so the blower won't have much effect because of the exhaust being shoved through the blast pipe. Get that coal burning. Shut the reg. We'll just use minimum power now. We'll leave the blower on because we need some steam. But to be honest, we're doing okay now. We don't need a lot of steam now going back towards Llandeardog. See, generation rate has gone up to 5,000 and steam usage rate is still at 1,000. Yeah, there we go, we're doing alright now. Boiler pressure's coming back up slowly. I'll put the blower on just a touch. Brakes. Didn't really concentrate there, did I? Even so, once again, it's going to work out pretty good. Oh god. Even though I completely messed that up, it's worked out perfectly. Gross negligence driving for the win. If you want to see some screenshots from this video, I'll upload them on the AWP Facebook group. There'll be an album with a link to buy this as well, I expect. So yeah, I mean, I keep saying it. If you haven't bought it, go and buy it. It's available on Steam. I think it's about 20 quid, something like that. But you know what? For an advanced logo, that's a price worth paying. Some of you are probably wondering, I haven't made videos of Chris's stuff, Caledonian Works, for a little while. There's been quite a few releases. It's very difficult to keep up with Chris's releases because he's super quick at releasing DLC. So I do plan on making videos of his newest logos. I've got the Caledonian Pug, the Long Boiler, and now the 944 class to make videos of. So this, you know, like I've been wanting to catch up on videos. Going, you know, there's even like the Robbins, what's it called? The Raven Q6 is another one. The G2A. I want to go back and do some more videos of each of those. Not necessarily, they don't all have to be on this route. I could use other routes, I suppose. Blower off. So we're making more than enough steam now for the final run back into Landier Dog. So it's 25 miles an hour all the way back to Landier Dog now. I'm going to shut the dampers because we're making far too much steam. I don't want to end the video by just blowing steam everywhere. But as you see, like, the boiler pressure's coming up, although it seems to have stabilised now by the look of it. We'll stick the blower on just while we're going through the tunnel. I've gone slightly too fast. We're doing 28 miles an hour. It's 25 back down the hill to Landier Dog, but this is a very steep hill, so it's very easy to end up overspeeding. So we'll shut the blower off. So we got the dampers shut. We got the, you know, we could still put lots of water in the boiler if we need to keep it quiet. We're very close to blowing off actually, so I'm going to stick the injector on. Loco braking all the way down. 26. She's holding, yeah, 20. She's holding at 25.9 on the loco brake. So on a gradient like this, it's actually working out quite nice. As we approach Llandeardog Harbour, with a full train of people wanting to go onto the seaside for the afternoon. Those blind barristers. So you see, I just took the loco brake off and it just, the speed jumped up. You see how much of an impact it has. See, the steam generation rate is really low while we're putting water in the boiler. So now I'm going to open the ejector, I'm going to dump the brakes and release them because we're coming into a 15 miles an hour speed limit. I'm not sure exactly where that will be. I think that's just as you pass under the bridge. Reapply the loco brake. This is the last little bit of the gradient now, coming down into Llandeardog. Very soon we'll be on the level. There's the 15 mile an hour sign just ahead of us. So we're still accelerating as we're just coming off the gradient. Just holding her at 15 there. It is very difficult to sort of get a good angle and film whilst driving. It's something I've always sort of struggled with. And there we go, ladies and gents. A full round trip with the Bossman Games Black 5 on the Pennock Valley Railway. I hope you've enjoyed it because I've had quite a lot of fun today doing this. Especially in the knowledge that Train Sim is more stable than it was before. Because there's nothing worse than sort of making a video like this, especially a long video, where you think, oh my god, is it going to dump on me? If it dumps now, then I'm screwed, the video will be corrupted. So there's really no fun in doing that. It's one of the reasons why I got so fed up with it. Open the reg all the way and slam it shut. And open the drain taps just to let that steam out because we're accelerating in reverse for some reason. Dump the brakes there because I'm not sure where the local position is. I'm pretty sure we're actually almost about right there. Oh my god, that could not have gone any more perfect than that right there. That was a pure fluke. I just stopped it right there because I thought, oh, I'm going to be a little bit too close for comfort when I need to run round. That could not have gone any better than that. So there we go. We're back at Llandeardog. We'll open the doors for everybody. The junk. We better put the... That's not supposed to happen. Why? That's weird. Oh, what the hell is going on here? I didn't realize we had quite so many people on board. Oh my god, Jesus. It kind of looks like Paddington. Welcome to Llandeardog Harbour, where 10 million people are leaving my train. Oh my god, I've never seen anything like this before. There is clearly something... I have messed about with the platforms on this route because I'm trying to make it so that nobody gets on or off at each station. Or like, you know, when you pass through with a train, there's nobody on the platform. But I've kind of failed. And it kind of looks like... this is maybe something that I need to look at.
Well, we don't see anybody getting on or off at any other station, but now at Llandeardog Harbour there's like 10 million ginger people with the same dress. Jesus. I'm not sure if this is like an error. I think it is. Because they're all sort of just going into the bushes over here. What, are these bushes like a dogging site? Come into the bushes. The Llandeardog Harbour bushes. The best bushes in the world. Oh my god. We've had some spectacular endings for videos over the last couple of years, but this has got to be one of those, which is Llandeardog. Actually, it was exactly here where it happened before. If you guys remember, with the Class 40, which kind of... Oh, where Leslie attacked the Class 40 at the end of a video. I'm not really sure what's going to happen now with all these people. Like, where are they going to go? Are they just going to, like, walk off at some point? I'm going to sort of pretend that we brought a boat train to Llandeardog Harbour. It does sort of look like they're dispersing a little bit now. They do seem to be leaving the station premises slowly. While we're waiting, I think I'll just put the handbrakes on the coaching stock. And we'll uncouple. So we'll do some running round. I've never seen anything like that in Train Sim before. Train Sim is renowned for doing weird shit, so yeah, you know, whatever. I've got to find a way to run around with this massive beast of a loco, because as I recall, the run round loop here at Llandeardog is not the biggest of run round loops. It's quite small, although it does look alright actually. I think we'll make it. A little bit further. Go on, Stephanie, you can do it. I believe in you. Are we about to blow off? No, we're not. Let's open them fire doors. Oh shit! Stop! 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 Dump the brakes! Oh god, how far from disaster were we then? About a metre and a half from disaster. Dunk. Alright, bloop. And where should we run to? You know, I'll just put her back on the front. She'll be ready for her next round trip then. I have sort of toyed with the idea of perhaps one day doing like a full day of running, like follow an actual timetable, and then do it as a live stream so that people can watch throughout the entire day. But we'll see, because that does sort of mean that I need an entire day undisturbed, which doesn't happen that often, but we'll see. It looks like all the 10 million people that were on that train have finally disappeared into the bushes. Come and see Llandeardog's finest bushes. The finest bush in the land. Oh yeah, the other thing to mention is that if a Black 5 really was to run round here, I imagine it would have just like completely destroyed its drawbar by now.
You know, the radius of these points is really not great for running round. I think we should get some screenshots there. We made it, ladies and gents. We made it, Landier Dog. Semi-professional negligence. Oh, that's a wicked screenshot. That's straight out of episode 6, where Di was running around right next to Mr. Stovall after being released from prison. Sometimes you do watch an episode, or you watch these videos, or you load a scenario, and there's people left as they were from when they were being filmed. What's the boiler pressure like? 215. See, you know, firebox door is open. I've not shoveled anything for a while. The blower is off. The dampers are shut. The fire's just sort of keeping it warm. I think we are gently blowing off just a touch, but it's really not that big a deal, you know. She's not blowing steam everywhere. I've messed up again. I need a lamp. Not sure exactly what I'm doing. Why have I still got a tail lamp? Oh god. Nope, I got no idea what I'm doing. I'm gonna have to look in the manual for the how to put lamps on. If you don't follow my advice there, and stop it there, drive. About minus 25%, something like that. Off we go. And it was at this moment he realised he probably wasn't recording in Bandicam. I have done that before. I have actually once made like a 3.5 hour video where then... Reese! You idiot! Didn't set the points. Right. Gassing as always. So I have made like a 3.5 hour video of a run on this route. I think it was actually with the 4200, and I sort of got to the end, realised I wasn't actually filming at all. Okay, there we go. Shift G. And that's like the worst feeling, to know that you've made, and it was actually quite a good video, as it, you know, would have been, you know, with some good bants all the way. Right, all the way open and slam shut for junk. There we go, we're running on. I slow her down to a walking pace using the loco brake. 1.6, let's buffer her up. So the fireman will jump down onto the ballast and call us onto the loco. So as is good practice, just stop about, you know, a foot away from it, and then you can like control her as she backs on. And stop there. Let's see, how did that do? Oh, another inch. Alright, squeeze on. tiny touch more. There we go, let's see. Boom, shakala. And the control was absolutely perfect. Screenshot proof. Am I still injecting? Oh, I am. But that's okay, because we're not blowing off. Boom. Let's take some screenshots just to prove that we did actually make it before I start rendering. There we go. We've made a full round trip of the Llandudnog and Pennyog route. I think it's about 2 hours or so in the video, 2.5 hours. Something like that, round trip. We've stopped. We didn't miss any stations. We didn't overshoot that much. We took about 10,000 people back to Llandudnog, and they're all sort of, most of them standing on the station not knowing what to do with themselves. And we're ready for the next run. But don't worry, ladies and gents, we won't be doing a double run. I think we'll be calling that the end of the video, because it's I've been filming for a good 2 hours or so. 2.5 hours maybe. Have had a shit in the middle as well. So not many people can say they make a video and actually have a shit halfway through. But not in the video. I didn't actually in the video, so for those of you flicking back through the video going, hang on, where did he have a shit? No, you missed that. I didn't record that bit. Probably because I don't take my laptop into my toilet and actually film while I'm having a shit, although that would be quite interesting as well. There we go, chaps. I hope you've enjoyed it. What the hell? I heard somebody scream. It must have been the neighbours. So, ladies and gents, I hope you've had fun. I've actually enjoyed this video for once. No dump files. Not a single dump file was had while making it. I'm really happy about that. Train Sim, 64-bit. Fantastic. A really good update from Dovetail Games there. It's probably one of the best things that they've done for us for a long time. So it's sort of gonna see Train Sim into the future. Third-party content developers will keep developing for a long time ahead. Train Sim is almost 10 years old now. In fact, Rail Sim was developed in what, 2005, 2006. So it's already over 10 years old, the technology. But long may it continue into the future. So, ladies and gents, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you again in the next video. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you. Bye. Bye.